Alright, so we're just playing in my basement, playing a game of 29.96 point value. It's essentially the practice for the upcoming Warhammer'd tournament. I just wanted to try out some ideas for a list. My opponent's Alan today with his Bretonnians. Alan, do you want to quickly go over your list?
Yeah, these guys I'm actually practicing as Grail Knights today just to try them out. They have a level 4 life wizard in them. These are two different units of Knights of the Realm with 3 characters in the front of that unit because I'm kind of a dick that way, I guess. 50 men-at-arms with a level 1 wizard in there. Bretonnian, those are Pegasus Knights. They're slightly forward to 12 inches because they vanguarded from, they were forced to be in the corner from the deployment rules. Unit of archers with a level 2 wizard in the building. 10 archers on each flank and 2 trebuchets, and hiding in the back is a Bretonnian hero on a Pegasus.
Alright, and we did roll dawn attack for the random scenario. So on my side, everything got pushed into the left corner, which was my graveguard unit. And in that unit, I put all my characters in there, except for one that I forgot about. So that when that unit got deployed, all my characters will be by my general. So there's my level 1 Vampire Lord, White King with a Great Weapon, my level 4 Necromancer, and a White King with a BSB. Right beside them is 50 ghouls, corpse carts, spirit hosts, and 2 Terrorgeist all got deployed in the middle. And then my my dogs, both units of my dogs, and another spirit host, 20 zombies, and 28 zombies with my level 1 Necromancer in them, all got put on the right flank. So they're just going to try to make their way back to the main army. And the Bretonnians are praying, so Vampire Counts get first turn. Alright, so we just finished Vampire Counts turn 1. My ghosts moved up, my dogs moved up a little bit with my zombies. These guys just started moving laterally with my dogs as well. On this side, my army marched forward, bringing my Terrorgeists up. I flew my Terrorgeist in before I moved my guys up just so I can still march. Made sure that his Peg Knights can't fly behind me and probably wouldn't want to land beside me. So in the magic phase, he dispelled my Raised Dead, and then so I went for Winds of Death. Rolled a 2 on the artillery dice, so it only went 6 inches, and we are off to Bretonnians turn 1. Alright, just finished Bretonnians turn 1. These Bretonnians make their way up. Grail Knights coming in on my Spirit Host, Yeoman coming in the middle of their... These Knights just hate my dogs, apparently. Going balls to the walls against them. The Peg Knights moved back away from there, and the hero came forward. In the magic phase, he gave those guys the Shield of Thorns... No, not Shield of Thorns. The
Shield of Thorns.
It is Shield of Thorns? And tried to do the magic missile on my dogs, and I dispelled that one, leaving the shield on those guys. In the shooting phase, he dropped off 2 dogs of each of my units from his archers, and the trebuchet landed on my dude's head doing 3 wounds, and then the second one just drifted off and failing to wound. And we are off to Vampire Counts turn 2. Alright, so we just finished Vampire Counts turn 2. My charges were my direwolves into the flank of his yeomen, and then my zombies into his Grail Knights. He chose to flee with his yeoman. My dogs made it into the wildwood, which that's what we figured out it was, and blocked off my zombies, making them fail that charge. It turned out that the wildwood was angry that turn and killed the rest of the dogs. I moved my spirit host behind this hill, moved these zombies up a little bit more, turned these dogs around to try and get in the way of those knights, flew my Terrorgeist out of their charge arc, and moved up my Spirit Host to try and block off some spearmen. And just kind of reformed my graveguard, bring up my corpse cart, reformed my ghouls, and flew my other Terrorgeist up to scream at some Peg Knights. In the magic phase, I ended Winds of Death. I tried to cast Raised Dead, it got dispelled. I then casted Van Hell's Dance on my graveguard unit so I can move my general around, so that I can do 2 castings of 6-inch bubble heals to bring up my Terrorgeist to full healed. And by doing so, my general total powered on 2 dice, and I got an 8, so all the wizards took a wound, knocking the Opal Amulet off of my Necromancer Lord, and doing 1 wound to this guy over here. In the shooting phase, this Terrorgeist rolled actually kind of bad and only killed 3 knights, and this guy rolled really bad, doing only 2 wounds. So we are off to Bretonnians turn 2. Alright, so we just finished Bretonnians turn 3. His chart...
Turn 2.
Yes. I don't know why my dice isn't out. But yeah, Bretonnians turn 2. His charges were, these knights came across into my zombies that were over here, effortlessly trying to make their way back. Those guys charged on the knights that were in the forest. These knights over here charged in on my Terrorgeist, and the Peg Knights and the captain came in, or the hero came in on my other Terrorgeist. In the magic phase, he failed to cast Wiston's Wild Form on those Peg Knights. I Dispel Scrolled his other Wiston's Wild Form, and then I dispelled the Earthling Shield that was still on those guys. In the shooting phase, he killed 16 Graveguard with the 2 Trebuchet shots, and failed to wound my Corpse Guard regened the Trebuchet shot, and armor saved the 2 Archer flaming shots from that tower. In combat, these knights wiped out my zombies. Over here, those knights wiped out my zombies, failing to wound anybody. Well, I wounded some guys, but the 2 up armor saves just gonna stop it. Over here, I didn't kill any of those knights. One of the knights just died to the fence on their way in. He did 2 wounds to me. I rolled 4 ones to hit him back, so that was great. And over here, I ended up losing. He did 2 wounds plus the charged flank. I ended up losing by 4. If my BSB was within range, that Terrorgeist would have been alive as well. But we are off to Vampire Counts turn 3. So we just finished Vampire Counts turn 3. My charges were Spirit Host at the Yeoman, which held. My Graveguard into his Knights, which failed because my Ghost couldn't make it. Ghouls into his character hero. And that was it for my charges. My movement, I just reformed my dogs and moved my charges. These Spirit Hosts are slowly but surely moving around back here. They're not dead yet. In the magic phase, I raised a new unit of zombies right here to protect my Terrorgeist flank. And that was it for magic. He uses Dispel Scroll on my big bubble heal, and I failed to do anything else. So off to shooting. I killed 1 dude with my Scream. I ended up healing my Terrorgeist up by 1, so he had 3 wounds left. And over here, in this round of combat, his hero on the Peg Knight had that stupid dueling glove thing, so my unit champion had to accept. He punked out my unit champion, but lost by 1. He fled. I caught him and overran into his other Peg Knights. And over here, he did 1 wound to me. I killed 1 guy in return. He's making his 5-up ward saves and 4-up armor saves like it's going out of style. And so that was a draw, so I reformed. And we are off to Bretonnian's turn 3. Alright, we just finished Bretonnian's turn 3. His charges were Men-at-Arms to the Spirit Hosts. He reformed these knights, Swift reformed the... Oh no, he just marched. Yeah, he just marched around doing some crazy wheels coming along here. These guys ran to the forest some more, moving up here. Losing no one to the forest. Over here, the yeoman came across behind my units, start shooting at me, and in magic he got +2 toughness off on those guys, and it was only a 2 dice phase. He rolled an 8 with his 2 dice with his +4. I tried to dispel it with my 1 dice, failed. Probably should have stored it in retrospect. The Trebuchets both went after my Corpse Cart. Oh, one went after my Corpse Cart, direct hitting it, failing to wound. The other one went after my BSB and killed 5 Graveguard? 6 Graveguard. And the shooting and such dropped 1 Graveguard, and that was about it. In combat, this was a draw. I lost by 6 in that fight. And over here, he killed 2 of my ghouls. He ended up losing by 3 and I ran him down. He went a whole 2 inches with his 3 dice. And it is off to Vampire Counts turn 4. So we just finished Vampire Counts turn 4. My charges were Graveguard into his Knights, Ghouls into his Bowmen. I just moved my dogs around to get into the way, and moved these guys, just reform these guys and reform my zombies. In the magic phase, I got to do a 12-inch heal, healing up some Graveguard, bringing my dogs both back, which I forgot to do. So I'll put them down because that actually changes on how I do my reform now that I think about it. And I did a big Wind of Death, but since Alan's level 4 had his level 4 had his second Dispel Scroll, but since you broke Concentration trying to dispel the first spell, we figured that you couldn't use the Dispel Scroll as well, so you're not allowed to dispel anymore. So Winds of Death went across, taking out 5 knights and only like 6 of the toughness 5 Men-at-Arms. And in combat, He issued a challenge. I accepted with my vampire, killed his dude. He did 1 wound to my Terrorgeist. He ran away. I caught him with my graveguard and overran into those men-at-arms. And over there, I killed all of the bowmen except for 3. He ran. I caught him, and spirit hosts are still making their way up. So we're off to Bretonnians turn 4. So we just finished Bretonnians turn 4. His charges were his Grail Knights came across into my graveguard, and his yeomen into the rear of my graveguard. And those guys into my dogs. Those guys also came out of the building, and these archers are slowly just running away, or faster than my ghost can catch them, is running away from my ghosts. In the magic phase, he cast nothing?
Yeah, I think you dispelled everything.
Yeah, I dispelled it, and then you broke concentration on your regrowth. Yeah. So, and the vortex just moved back 2 inches. In the shooting phase, the trebuchet took out my my Terrorgeist, and the other one went for the corpse card, going way off there. In combat, it was bloody. He made a crap ton of 5-up wards, and he just went to town on my guys, killing 14 graveguard, doing a wound to my BSB, 2 wounds to my White King, and our Necromancer and his level 2 wizard were fighting it out. And my vampire only killed 1 knight with his rerollable, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, but he was still getting a 5-up armor with
6-up.
Yeah, he must have saved. That's a lot.
I rolled a lot of words.
A lot of 5-up ward saves. So I'm just down to my characters. My BSB has 1 wound on him. The White King has 1 wound left, and my Necromancer Lord has 2 wounds left. And over here, he cleaned up my dogs, and we're off to Vampire Counts turn 5. So we just finished Vampire Counts turn 5. It was a quick one. My ghouls charged in his trebuchet. Actually, I do get a free reform. I might just have wanted to stay on the board, because I can see you from the rear. Yeah.
So when you killed the trebuchet, you'd be something like that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to reform those ghouls. Over here, I killed 3 guys. He killed... That guy took 2 wounds. I ended up losing by 1. My Necromancer has 1 wound left on him. White King is fine. Vampire is fine. And we are off to Bretonnians turn 5. Alright, we just finished Bretonnians turn 5. His Knights charged on my zombies. His Wizard left that unit, and the archers jumped into the building. These archers moved forward. I forgot to move my Spirit Host last turn. In the shooting phase, the Rock tried to drop down on the ghouls and missed. The Bowman tried to shoot a bunch, nothing happened. Magic phase, he gave his Wizard +3 strength, +3 attacks, so he can punch out my Wizard in the duel. And I stopped his Wissen's Wild Form. In combat, I ended up losing by 8 over here, but my zombies are still there. Oh, that's going to be bad, now that I just thought about something. And over here, it came out to a draw. He won by Musician, but my BSB negated that. So we are off to Vampire Counts turn 6. Alright, we just finished Vampire Counts turn 6. My Corpse Cart charged into his Grail Knights. Ghouls charged into the building. That was it. Magic, I had 12 dice. Failed to cast it. Well, chose not to cast anything. In the combat phase, Corpse Cart did 2 wounds to his Wizard and killed the last Knight with the impact hits. The Vampire Lord issued a challenge, got accepted by the Wizard because she had nowhere else to go, and got, well, I only got 2 wounds on her, so good thing that impact hits came in. And then her, Alan's Wizard, she put all her attacks onto my BSB, which she had to. Needed 5s to hit, failed to hit. I failed to wound? Oh yeah, I rolled 2s to wound, so it was fantastic. And then over there, 2 archers made their way out of the building as my ghouls now take over that building. And we are off to Bretonnians turn 6. Alright, so we just finished Bretonnians turn 6. He charged into my Corpse Cart. Nothing else, he just moved these guys out. Those guys couldn't finish rallying, so they're still fleeing. In the magic phase, he failed to cast his big... What was the spell he tried? Wissen's? Or
Savage Beast.
Savage Beast. Failed to cast it. In shooting, he chose not to shoot, just so he can save his trebuchet, just in case if it did misfire. Knights charged it onto my Corpse Cart, ended up blowing it up with just the heroes in the front. And then in this fight over here, his unit champion was right there, which I didn't think about asking where it was when I made my guy reform. So he issued a challenge. I accepted with my BSB, like with his wizard, so my vampire can go to town in there. I had to kill the unit champion with my first 5 attacks to then get my 1 more attack in on the unit, and then my BSB failed to killing blow the lady. He did 2 wounds. She made one of her 6-up ward saves, so she still lives. And so we're just about to count up all the points and find out who won. So thanks for watching.